What's going on, my friends? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. Right now we're sitting at $58,000, and what I want to do is bring you the Bitcoin rainbow log chart. And the reason why I want to look at this, we're going to probably do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, because guys, we're getting closer to that top. In my opinion, we have anywhere from about 2 months to 6 months left in this bull market, depending on how euphoric things will get. But in my opinion, when you're looking at this chart, this rainbow chart here, when you see prices get into the red, this is definitely when you should be using those trailing stop losses and let the market stop you out of your positions and lock in that profit. It's so key to lock in the profit. You don't want to have those massive paper gains and see them all go away. As you can see last time, guys, we went from 20,000 all the way down to 3,000. These cycles repeat themselves. You can see up here we went from 1,000 all the way back down to $211. This time it shows that if we can get up into the red, maybe $140,000. The next time we're down in the blue, it could be back down to $20,000. So you always want to have a plan as we continue through this bull market. And as what we've noticed is we typically have these last euphoric blow off tops. You can see back in here a massive blow off top. 2013 we actually got outside the red. But for me, once you get up into the red here, which is maximum bubble territory, that's when you definitely want to start protecting your profits. You can see below that is sell, seriously sell. So that's the lighter red here. And then it goes to FOMO intensifies, and that's where we were previously up to, that dark orange. And now we're at the light orange, and that is basically, is this a bubble? Okay, so we're back down in this range, and then right below that is going to be the hodl. Okay, so as you work your way up in this chart, the blue is going to be basically a fire sale. The next one's going to be a buy right here. Then it's accumulate, still cheap, hodl, and then it is a bubble. FOMO intensifies, sell, seriously sell, in maximum bubble territory. And this is on blockchaincenter.net. But this gives you the big picture of Bitcoin. And in my opinion, and guys, like I said, it's just my opinion, I don't believe the top's in yet. I still believe we have a really nice move to come here in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Excuse me. But this is just going to give you a little bit of the bigger picture time frame for Bitcoin and kind of show you, these areas down here, they've been steadfast. Look to almost the very bottom of this blue here. That would have been a fire sale, and that was around $5,000. Imagine if people were buying there. You can see back through here. So it's really good at marking the tops and the bottoms. And if you've never paid attention to this, you definitely should. And you can also see the halving marks here. So you can see typically we'd have the halving, and then we'd have this massive bull market. Here was our halving, and then here's our bull market. Another thing you can do is maybe count the days in there as well. And that can help you kind of show you where we may be in this cycle. But right now we're basically back to the area of, is this a bubble right now? Okay, now if we move on to the next part of this, I want to get into some closer detail for us. And also, guys, if you get some from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know what you think. Is Bitcoin going to break through that $65,000, $64,198 up top here? Or do you feel as though we're going to go back down to the bottom of this range around $45,000 and test that? I know a lot of people have been saying $40,000, but for me right now, the main area that we need to hold, you can see we hit this bullish engulfing candle, so the main area is going to be about 48,929 is going to be a support area, and then also this area right up here at 53,405 is going to be the area. So we had this massive sell-off, we pushed up, we came back, we set our higher low. We had a nice bullish engulfing candle yesterday, and now we're going to try to get back up. We have a tough area, though, to get up through, and that's going to be roughly at about that $60,000, that big psychological number. So even if we have to move sideways for a little longer, we need to be prepared for that. Main thing for Bitcoin is we've actually defended, though, and we're back up above our 20, our 50, our 100, and our 200. We found our nice bullish engulfing candle off this 100. Main thing was to have a candle close up above the 50. That gives us a little more confidence that we may be able to get up to some of these higher levels around that 60,000, then 61,000, then around that 64,198. The only thing that I would say we're lacking a little bit, it's been about average volume when we had this bullish engulfing candle right here. The next one that we had was about average volume, so we haven't seen those huge swells, but we got to keep our eye out for those. Now, if we get into the technicals, you can see Bitcoin looking much better than what we were about a week ago or so. On the 1 day, we have a 0 sell, a 10 neutral, and a 16 buy. Oscillator 0 sell, 9 neutral, and a 2 buy. Moving average is 0 sell, 1 neutral, and a 14 buy. If we get into the 1 week, we're looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, and a 15 buy. Oscillators 2 sell, 8 neutral, and a 1 buy. Moving average is 0 sell, 1 neutral, and a 14 buy. So if we step back out here, I love looking at this on the log scale and just kind of want to get your guys' opinion as well. You can see we really haven't had that euphoric top like here when we had back in March when we had that major bottom, that climax bottom. And you can see, guys, let me zoom in here. Look how heavy this volume is. I anticipate something along the lines of that at the top. One more final move that is just flushed down, or flushed up, excuse me. And what I like to do is basically measure this price range here. So you can see we had in about 1 day a move of about 42%. So what I wanted to do is just even add 42% on to where we're at right now. So say we were to get one of these moves, 42% right now would take us roughly to about $81,000, $80,000, and that is my next target, basically $75,000 to $80,000. And then we're going to have to see if we can come back and maybe back test and turn 64,198 into support. But typically, guys, that's what we have. I mean, you can even look back in here. We had this climax volume that marked the top right here. Then we had the climax bottom that marked it as well. Climax top back here in 2020. You can see that volume. And I guess the only similar volume that we've had is this right here, but this was not our climax top. We've obviously moved up since then. So I'm still looking for one more major leg to the upside here. It could be two, depending on how long this cycle wants to run itself out. We could go up to 80,000, come back down, find support, and then try to make another euphoric move up to the top. But for me, this next major leg that comes up, I'm going to start protecting some positions, putting in trailing stop losses as things get crazy. If we get into the relative strength, because you have to have a plan, guys. You don't want to see big, massive paper profits, and then you can have them all go away, because when these bubbles pop, it happens really fast. Okay, that euphoric top can last about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden the bear market begins and it gets pretty ferocious. So right now in the relative strength, we're at 55, so we have plenty of room to make an upside move. No problem there. If we take a look at our stock, it's another one I like to pay attention to. The stock is roughly going to be at 74 and 58 right now, so we still have more room as well. Main thing is just going to be dealing with this tough overhead resistance, guys, of around $60,000, then up to around that 64,198. But it's nice to see that we're had a daily candle close back up above the 20, the 50, the 100, and the 200 moving average, because we always want to follow the trend, right? Until the trend breaks, the trend is our friend. Okay, and if we take a look at this bull market and kind of measure how many days since we had that major dump, so we have been trending up for roughly about 415 days here. So even if this was the end of the bull market, that'd be pretty short. Guys, I'm still anticipating, I know a lot of people think maybe looking at the 4-year cycle that maybe September, October could be the top, but for me, I'm a little bit more conservative. If everyone's looking at September or October, I'm looking more so at like July or August, somewhere in that range. So the next major move up is when I believe people are really going to start looking and potentially taking some profits, because we're getting closer to the end of this bull market. Maybe we have a third left, something along those lines, but we're getting closer, and people who are buying down in this range are definitely going to be taking some profits. And I'm sure some guys are going to be going on vacations, and they're going to be happy once the bull market's over. They're going to take those profits, go enjoy themselves for a while. Maybe they're going to come back and trade the bear market, or maybe they're just going to take time off until we bottom in the bear market. We're in that accumulation stage and they do it again. So I want to bring this to you guys. Don't panic, anything like that. Just continue to look at that long-term chart. That's what's going to help you. If you get some from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless you all. Take care.